Today, let's hear the story about the war in heaven. In the beginning, the heavens were a realm of eternal light. It was a place where glory radiated from the throne of God, and His creations, the angels, sang praises of eternal worship. Among these heavenly beings was one of great power and beauty, Lucifer, the light-bearer, the morning star. Lucifer was unlike any other angel. His brilliance surpassed the stars, and he stood close to God's throne, radiating pure light. His authority over the angels was second only to God's. God's throne was surrounded by angelic choirs, and in this radiant realm, peace reigned. The angels knew no sin, no conflict, only harmony, love, and the overwhelming presence of God's majesty. But a storm was brewing, one that none could foresee, except perhaps God Himself. In the heart of Lucifer, a change was stirring. He looked upon himself, admired his own glory, and questioned, why should God alone be worshipped? His thoughts began to darken. Pride crept into his heart like a serpent, twisting his once pure soul. I am the morning star, he thought. Why should I not sit on the throne of heaven? Why should I not be equal to God? Day by day, these thoughts consumed him, and soon Lucifer began to whisper his rebellion to others. His charm, his beauty, and his authority over the angels swayed many. 1/3 of the heavenly hosts, captivated by his vision of power and freedom, pledged their loyalty to him. A great divide was forming in the once harmonious heavens. Lucifer, now filled with arrogance, approached the throne of God. Why must we serve you alone? Why should your will be supreme? His voice echoed across the heavenly realms, a challenge to the very order of creation. But God, all-knowing and all-wise, saw the rebellion in Lucifer's heart long before the angels spoke a word. The rebellion was inevitable. Lucifer, consumed by pride, declared his intentions, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High. His words shook the heavens, and the loyal angels trembled. This was not merely a rebellion against God's authority. It was a direct assault on the very nature of creation, of order, of love. The hosts of heaven divided. On one side, Lucifer and his followers. On the other, Michael, the archangel of righteousness, and the angels who remained faithful to God. The war in heaven was about to begin, and all of creation would tremble. Michael, the great defender, stood before the throne of God and received the command, cast the rebels out of heaven. His eyes burned with holy fire as he unsheathed his sword of light. The time had come to restore the order of heaven. And so, the war erupted in the skies above. It was a clash unlike anything seen before or since. Lightning flashed, and the heavens quaked as the angels fought. Michael and his warriors flew like comets across the sky, their swords blazing as they struck down the forces of rebellion. Lucifer, now transformed into Satan, the adversary, fought with furious strength, but the darkness in his soul had already begun to weigh him down. The battle was fierce, but Michael, wielding the power of God's justice, overcame the fallen angels. Lucifer, now stripped of his former glory, was cast out of heaven. As he fell, he screamed in defiance, his voice filled with hatred and despair, I will never bow to you. With a mighty crash, he and his followers were hurled into the abyss, exiled from the kingdom of light forever. The heavens were silent. The war was over, but its scars remained. The fallen ones were gone, but their rebellion had shaken the very foundations of heaven. Michael, with a heart heavy yet triumphant, returned to the throne of God, where the angels once again sang, but this time with a deeper understanding of the cost of rebellion and the price of loyalty. Though cast out of heaven, Lucifer's story did not end there. On earth, a new creation was being formed, humanity. God, in His love, created beings in His image, capable of choice, love, and reason. Yet Lucifer, now Satan, looked upon this new creation with envious eyes. If he could not rule heaven, perhaps he could corrupt earth. Satan slithered into the Garden of Eden, disguising himself in the form of a serpent. He approached the first humans, Adam and Eve, and whispered the same temptation that had led to his fall. You can be like God. You don't need his rules. You don't need to serve him. And so, with cunning deceit, Satan planted the seed of rebellion in their hearts, just as he had once done among the angels. Adam and Eve fell into temptation, and through their disobedience, sin entered the world. The war in heaven had spilled over into earth, and the battle between good and evil would now rage within the hearts of humanity. But God, in his infinite wisdom, had a plan. He knew that humanity, though fallen, could be redeemed. He sent prophets and kings, gave laws and covenants, but most of all, he promised a Savior who would crush the serpent's head and restore the relationship between heaven and earth. That Savior, Jesus Christ, would be the ultimate answer to Satan's rebellion. Through his life, death, and resurrection, Christ would offer redemption not just for humanity, but for the entire cosmos. The war was not over yet, but victory had already been assured. Even now, the war between good and evil continues in unseen realms. Satan still prowls, seeking to deceive, to corrupt, and to destroy. But his power is limited, and his time is short. The faithful wait for the day when Christ will return, when the final battle will be fought, and when Satan and his forces will be cast into the lake of fire for all eternity. The war in heaven was just the beginning. The story of rebellion, justice, and redemption echoes through time, reminding all of creation that in the end, good will triumph over evil, and God's love will reign supreme forever. The heavens and the earth await that final day, the day when the kingdom of light will once again stand in eternal glory, unchallenged and unbroken. The angels who once fought in heaven's war now watch over humanity, guiding and protecting them as the story of redemption unfolds. But even as peace returned, a prophecy was whispered among the angels, a prophecy that spoke of a time when Lucifer would seek revenge, when the forces of darkness would again rise against the light. But it also spoke of a final victory, when good would triumph and peace would reign forever. And so, dear listener, the war in heaven reminds us of the eternal struggle between pride and humility, between darkness and light. It is a story as old as time, a story that echoes within us all. For in every heart there is a choice to be made. Will you stand with the light, or let the darkness take hold? Welcome to Diary of the Immortals, where legends are born and eternity awaits. Hit like and subscribe. Your support helps us making contents. Thank you. May God bless us all.